My wife screamed, "You're worthless. I should have married him instead." Pointing at my brother, I replied, "Probably." Then I moved out and let her discover my worthless brother had been paying her student loans as a favor to me. His monthly reminder that she owes him $87,000 now. Original post: I, 33 male. I'm sitting in my new studio apartment, eating ramen, and honestly, life's never been clearer. Last Thursday was my brother Kevin's 36th birthday party. Family gathering at my parents' house. My wife Jessica, 31, had been in a mood all week. Something about her coworker getting promoted while she didn't. Whatever. I'd learned to ride out these storms over our 5 years of marriage. We're all having dinner, and Kevin's telling a story about his new Tesla. Jessica had been drinking wine since 4 p.m. She suddenly interrupts. "Must be nice having money to throw around." Kevin just shrugged. "Work's been good." She turned to me, eyes blazing. "See? That's what a real man accomplishes, not sitting at home playing with computers all day. I'm a software developer. Work from home, make decent money, about $95,000 a year. Not Silicon Valley money, but solid." "Jess, not now," I said quietly. She stood up, wobbling slightly, pointing at Kevin. "You're worthless, Nathan. Completely worthless. I should have married him instead. At least Kevin knows how to be successful." The room went silent. Mom dropped her fork. Dad's jaw clenched. Kevin looked like he wanted to disappear into the floor. I took a sip of my beer, set it down carefully, and said, "Probably." Then I stood up, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. Jessica called after me, something about being dramatic. I drove home, packed 2 suitcases, my laptop, and my gaming setup. Left my wedding ring on the kitchen counter with a note, "You're right, you deserve better. I'm done." Found a furnished studio on Craigslist that night. Moved in the next morning. Here's what Jessica didn't know. Those student loans she's been managing so well by paying the minimum, the ones from her master's degree that she loves to brag about, Kevin's been paying them for the last 3 years. The actual payment, not the minimum. About $900 a month. See, 3 years ago, Jessica was drowning. $130,000 in student debt. Minimum payments, barely touching the principal. She was having panic attacks, couldn't sleep. I went to Kevin, he owns a successful construction company, and asked for help. Not a handout, a business arrangement. I'd pay him back $2,200 a month, the $1,900 plus $300 interest, and he'd pay her loans directly. I'd been saving up to surprise her when they were paid off, prove that her worthless husband had secretly freed her from debt. $87 paid so far. My savings depleted. My credit cards maxed from covering our expenses while funneling money to Kevin. But now she gets to figure it out herself. Kevin texted me that night. "Bro, what do you want me to do about next month's payment?" "Stop paying. Send her the bill for what's been paid. She wants a real man. She can handle her real debt. You sure?" "Dead sure." It's been a week. Based on the 73 missed calls, she's figured it out. Update 1, well, that escalated exactly as expected. Monday morning, 3 days after I left, Jessica discovered the loan situation. Kevin, beautiful bastard that he is, sent her an email with a professional letterhead from his company. "Dear Jessica, per Nathan's request, I am terminating the loan repayment arrangement effective immediately. As of today, you have received $87,000 in loan payments made on your behalf. While this was originally a private arrangement between Nathan and myself, given recent events, I am formally requesting you assume responsibility for this debt. Attached is a payment schedule. First payment of $2,200 is due on the 1st. Regards, Kevin Mitchell, Mitchell Construction LLC." She called me 31 times in an hour. Then came the texts. "What the hell did you do? Nathan, answer me. This isn't funny anymore. You can't just do this. I didn't know Kevin was paying. This is fraud. I'm calling a lawyer. Please just talk to me. I'm sorry about what I said. I was drunk. You know I didn't mean it." I responded once. All communication through lawyers. Contact info to follow. Then she went nuclear. Tuesday, she showed up at my office. Security had to escort her out after she started screaming in the lobby about me being a financial abuser and manipulative psychopath. My boss called me in, concerned. I showed him the separation paperwork I'd filed and the texts. He offered me the rest of the week off. I took it. Wednesday, the social media campaign started. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. all painting me as the villain who secretly controlled her finances and set her up for failure. Her friends piled on with the supportive comments. Men are trash. Financial abuse is real. You deserve so much better, hun. But then Kevin commented, just once, on her main Facebook post, interesting perspective. Here are the receipts for 36 months of payments I made at Nathan's request because you were having panic attacks about defaulting. He depleted his savings to help you. You're welcome. He attached screenshots, every single payment. Her narrative crumbled within hours. But the best part? Thursday, she tried to log into our streaming services. Netflix, canceled. HBO, canceled. Disney Plus, canceled. Even the Spotify family plan. All in my name, all gone. She called Kevin's wife, Monica, crying about how I was being petty and purposely hurting her. Monica, who was at the birthday dinner, told her, Jessica, you called my brother-in-law worthless in front of his entire family. What did you expect, Roses? Friday morning, I got a call from her mother, Diane. Nathan, sweetheart, Jessica told me what's happening. This seems extreme. Diane, did she tell you what she said? She mentioned a disagreement. She stood up at a family dinner, drunk, and announced I was worthless and she should have married my brother instead. Silence. She didn't mention that part. No, I imagine she didn't. She also didn't mention that Kevin has been paying her student loans for 3 years because I asked him to. $87,000 worth. What? Ask her about it. An hour later, Jessica texted, you turned my mom against me. Real mature. The entitlement is staggering. She genuinely believes she's the victim here. Tomorrow is the first of the month. Her first loan payment is due, the real one, not the minimum she thought she was paying. $2,847 a month, plus Kevin's $2,200. That's $5,047 a month she needs to find, on her $65,000 salary. Good luck with that. Update 2. The first of the month hit like a freight train. Jessica had been alternating between love bombing and rage texting all weekend. Saturday morning, she sent a 3,000-word email about our beautiful history and how couples overcome challenges. By Saturday night, she was threatening to destroy my precious gaming computer that I'd left behind. Joke's on her, I took the graphics card and SSDs. But Monday? Reality check bounced hard. Her loan servicer auto-debited the actual payment amount, $2,847. Her account had $1,200. Overdraft. Then Kevin's automatic invoice system, he's petty like me, sent her a formal payment request. Another $2,200 due. She called me screaming. Actually screaming. I let it go to voicemail. Nathan, you piece of shit. My account is overdrawn. The bank is charging me fees. You set me up. You knew this would happen. I'm going to destroy you. I'm taking everything in the divorce, everything. I texted back. Lawyers only. Then came the extinction burst, though she had no idea that's what it was. Tuesday morning, 6 a.m., she showed up at my studio apartment, started pounding on the door. Open up. I know you're in there. We need to talk like adults. My neighbor, an 80-year-old Korean War vet named Frank, opened his door. Lady, it's 6 a.m. Shut up or I'm calling the cops. Mind your own business, old man. Frank called the cops. She got a warning for disturbing the peace. I got a sympathetic pat on the shoulder from Officer Martinez, who'd apparently dealt with his own crazy ex situation back in the day. Wednesday was when she tried to get clever. She called my company's HR department, claiming she was my emergency contact and there was a family emergency. They called me to verify. Is Jessica still your emergency contact, Nathan? No. Please update that to Kevin Mitchell, my brother. And please note that Jessica and I are separated and she should not be given any information about my employment. Noted. Would you like us to document this attempted contact? Yes, please. Thursday, she tried a different approach. She had her dad, Robert, call me. Robert's a good guy, works as a mechanic, straight shooter. Nate, what's going on, son? Jess is at her house crying her eyes out. Something about loans? I explained everything. The dinner, the arrangement with Kevin, the years of payments, all of it. Long pause. She really said you were worthless? In front of my entire family. Jesus Christ. I didn't raise her like that. I know you didn't, Robert. How much does she owe? $43K left on the loans, $87K to Kevin. He whistled low. She makes what, $65K? About that. She's screwed. Yeah. You know what? Good. Maybe this will teach her some humility. I love my daughter, but she's had this coming. Her mother and I spoiled her. This is on us too. That was unexpected. Robert saying that hit harder than anything Jessica had said or done. Friday afternoon, the real estate agent called. Oh yeah, Jessica tried to list our house for sale without me. One problem, both our names are on the deed. Need both signatures. The agent was apologetic. Mr. Mitchell, your wife seemed to be under the impression she had sole authority to sell. We're separated. Please don't move forward with anything unless both parties are present and agreeing. Understood. I'm sorry for the confusion. Jessica's text after that. You're blocking me from selling my house now? Our house. Both names on deed. Lawyers. I hate you. Okay. But Saturday was the grand finale of the week. Jessica decided to throw herself a divorce party at our house. Posted it all over Instagram. Celebrating freedom from toxic men. New beginnings. Living my best life. Except she forgot one crucial detail. The house payment, auto drafts from my account. I'd already stopped it. The mortgage company called her during her party in front of all her friends, on speaker because she was drunk and showing off. Mrs. Mitchell, this is First National Bank. Your mortgage payment has been returned for insufficient funds. What? No, my husband pays that. The account holder has stopped payment. The mortgage is past due. You have 30 days to bring the account current or we'll begin proceedings. The party ended pretty quickly after that. Kevin texted me. She called Monica crying, said you're trying to make her homeless. She has 30 days to pay the mortgage, or sell, or refi in her name. That's 3 options. You know she can't afford any of those. Then she should have thought about that before publicly humiliating me and calling me worthless. Fair point. BTW, she hasn't responded to my payment request. Shocking. I'm adding late fees next week. You're a good brother. Learned from the best, little bro. Final update, it's been 6 weeks since the birthday dinner disaster. The divorce papers were filed 2 weeks ago. Here's how it all played out. Jessica tried every manipulation tactic in the book. She went from rage to love bombing to victim playing to threats, sometimes all in the same day. But the financial reality was unavoidable. Week 3, she got hit with second overdraft from loan payment, $2,847. Kevin's second invoice, now with late fees, $2,300. Mortgage past due notice, $2,100. Credit card minimums without my contributions, $890. Total monthly, $8,147. Her take home, $3,900. She tried negotiating with Kevin first, showed up at his office with tears and apologies. His secretary wouldn't even let her pass the lobby. She emailed him about family loyalty and how he was choosing sides. Kevin responded with one line, "You chose sides when you humiliated my brother." Then she tried the legal route. Hired a lawyer with her last credit card. The lawyer reviewed everything and told her the truth. The debt to Kevin was legitimate. The house would need to be sold, and she'd be lucky to walk away with anything given the mortgage balance and equity split. She fired him and hired another lawyer. Same result. The house sold last week. Quick sale, below market, but enough to cover the mortgage and realtor fees. After the split, she walked away with $11,000. I got the same. The divorce was finalized yesterday. Uncontested because she had no grounds to contest. Assets split 50-50, which wasn't much. Debts remain separate. She keeps her student loans. She owes Kevin separately. That's between them now. The best part? Her own friends started distancing themselves once the truth came out. Turns out calling your husband worthless in front of his family doesn't play well when people learn he was secretly paying your debts. Her Instagram went from strong independent woman posts to nothing. Radio silence. Last I heard from Robert, she moved back in with them. He made her get a second job to pay her loans. She's working at Target on weekends, he told me last week. Humbling experience for her. Should have happened years ago. Jessica sent one final text yesterday after the divorce was finalized. I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life over one drunken comment. I responded for the last time. No, Jessica. I revealed your life. The destruction was already there, hidden under $87,000 of my brother's money. You called me worthless, but you've been living off my worth for 3 years. The only thing I destroyed was the illusion. Good luck. Blocked her after that. Kevin forgave the debt last week. Sent her a formal letter stating the $87 was forgiven. No payment required. Tax implications are her problem. She'll owe the IRS about 20 Qleys in taxes for that forgiven debt. She doesn't know that yet. Why'd you forgive it? I asked him. Because holding on to it means staying connected to her drama. I did it for you, not her. You're free now. Really free. He's right. I'm in my studio apartment. It's small, but it's peaceful. No more walking on eggshells. No more financial drain. No more being called worthless while secretly being the only thing keeping her afloat. My credits shot from the maxed cards, but I'll rebuild. Already got a raise at work. Turns out when you're not stressed about hiding $2,200 monthly payments, you perform better. Who knew? Started dating someone last week. Nothing serious yet. She's an accountant, which is ironic. First thing she said when I told her this story, "Wait, you paid how much of her loans without telling her? That's the opposite of financial abuse. That's financial enabling." Yeah, it was. But the real kicker came this morning. Jessica's best friend Hannah, who was at the birthday dinner, sent me a DM. "Hey Nathan, I know we weren't close, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for believing her side initially. She told me yesterday that she knew about the loans the whole time. She found out 2 years ago when she saw Kevin's name on a payment confirmation you left on your desk. She kept quiet because she wanted to see how far you'd go for her. She was testing you. Thought you should know." I stared at that message for an hour. She knew. She knew I was killing myself financially to help her. And she called me worthless anyway. I forwarded the message to Kevin. His response, "Holy shit. Thank God you're divorced." Yeah. Thank God. I'm not angry anymore, not even hurt, just relieved. The mask fell off, and everyone saw who she really was, including her. My therapist, got one of those now, said something that stuck. "Nathan, you spent 3 years trying to prove your worth to someone who assigned you none. The only person who needed to recognize your worth was you." She's right. I'm worth more than being someone's secret financial plan while being publicly humiliated. I'm worth more than maxed credit cards and depleted savings for someone who'd call me worthless at a family dinner. I'm worth more than Jessica ever deserved. Probably should have married Kevin instead. Nah, she was never worth either of us. I'm good now. Really good. Studio apartment, ramen dinners and all. At least the ramen's mine, bought with my money, eaten in my peace. That's worth everything. Edit, to everyone asking, yes, Kevin and I are still close. Closer than ever, actually. He's coming over Saturday to help me build a desk. Monica's bringing beer. Family that actually values you, that's worth more than any loan payment. Edit 2, stop asking for Jessica's social media. Let her rebuild in peace. We're all moving on. Edit 3, yes, the tax implications for forgiven debt are real. Consult a tax attorney if you're ever in this situation. The IRS considers forgiven debt as income. She's in for a surprise come April. My wife staged a cheating prank for TikTok views, waiting in bed with a stranger to see my reaction. I didn't scream. I just walked out, got in my car, and drove to the airport. 3 million views later, she was still asking why I filed for divorce over a joke. Original post. 32 male. Came home from a 12-hour shift at the hospital last Tuesday. I'm an ER nurse, and it was one of those days where everything that could go wrong did. 2 codes. A stabbing victim, and a kid who swallowed a Lego. I was exhausted, covered in God knows what, and just wanted to shower and sleep. Walked into our bedroom around 11 p.m. Lights were dim, and there she was. My wife, 29, in bed, with some dude I'd never seen before. Both of them under the covers, her wearing lingerie I'd bought her for our anniversary. She giggled. Actually giggled. "Babe, you're home early." The guy looked uncomfortable as hell, but he was clearly in on it because he didn't move. I just stood there. Scrub still on, stethoscope around my neck, brain trying to process what I was seeing. "Surprise," she said, holding up her phone. "Recording. It's a prank. For TikTok. Aren't you gonna freak out?" I looked at her, looked at the stranger in my bed, looked at the Ring camera she'd angled toward the door to catch my reaction, and I just left. Didn't say a word. Grabbed my wallet and keys from the dresser. Walked out of the bedroom, out of the apartment, got in my car, and drove. She was calling after me, laughing at first, then confused. "Babe, it's just a joke. Come back." I drove straight to the airport, booked a one-way ticket to visit my brother across the country. Didn't answer her calls, didn't respond to her texts, just got on a plane at 2 a.m. and left. Landed 6 hours later to 89 missed calls and 200 plus texts ranging from "OMG, you actually left lol" to "this isn't funny anymore" to "where are you?" I texted back one thing, "talk to my lawyer." Then I blocked her number. That was 4 days ago. My brother's been great letting me crash here. But the real kicker? She posted the video anyway. Cheating prank on husband goes wrong, with crying emojis and everything. It's got 3.2 million views now. The comments are split. Half are calling her an idiot, half are saying I overreacted to a harmless prank. But here's the thing. It wasn't harmless. She brought a stranger into our home, into our bed, while I was working a shift, saving lives. She thought my pain and betrayal would be entertainment. She valued TikTok views over my dignity. And now she's blowing up my email. Can't block that without changing it, saying I'm ruining her content and being dramatic, and it was just for laughs. I'm meeting with a divorce attorney tomorrow morning. Am I overreacting? Everyone's got opinions, but all I know is I can't look at her the same way. Trust is gone. Respect is gone. The moment she thought my hurt would be funny content was the moment our marriage ended. Update 1 week later. Holy hell, didn't expect this to blow up. Thanks for the support, and to those saying I'm too sensitive, cool. You can be married to someone who pranks you with fake infidelity, so. The attorney meeting happened. Her name's a total bulldog in court. Comes highly recommended. I showed her the TikTok video, the screenshots of my wife's texts, everything. She watched the video twice. Then she looked at me and said, "This is actually going to help you. A lot." Turns out, in our state, bringing someone into the marital home without your spouse's consent can be argued as a violation of the sanctity of the marriage. Plus, she monetized the video. Made $3,400 from the views so far. That's marital income earned through my emotional distress. We filed for divorce on Friday. Cited irreconcilable differences and emotional abuse. Yeah, emotional abuse. My attorney said what she did constitutes it because she intentionally caused me psychological harm for entertainment. The petition was served to her yesterday at work. She's a receptionist at a dental office. Process server said she cried, made a scene, her boss had to calm her down. She called me from her office phone since I blocked her cell. I answered. Mistake, are you serious right now? Divorce over a prank? You humiliated me for internet clout. It was a joke. Everyone does prank videos. Not with strangers in their spouse's bed. Oh my God, you're being ridiculous. He was my coworker's brother. He's gay. Nothing happened. I don't care if he's the Pope. You brought someone into our bed and filmed my reaction to what I thought was you cheating. That's not a joke. That's cruel. But I said it was a prank right away. After letting me walk in and process it first, you wanted me to be hurt. You got what you wanted. Now you're dealing with the consequences. She started crying. Please don't do this. I'll delete the video. I'll apologize publicly, whatever you want. I want a divorce. You're throwing away 5 years over one mistake. You threw it away when you thought my pain was content. Hung up. Blocked the office number. Now here's where it gets messy. Her mom called my mom. Apparently, I'm a heartless bastard who can't take a joke, and I'm ruining her baby's life over nothing. My mom, bless her, said, "Your daughter exploited my son's emotions for social media attention. He's absolutely right to leave." Her mom threatened to sue me for emotional distress I caused her daughter. My attorney literally laughed when I told her. Let her try. Discovery would be fun. But the entitlement doesn't stop there. My wife, soon-to-be ex, God that feels good, posted a follow-up video. Crying, no makeup, the whole sympathy play. My husband left me over a harmless prank. I was just trying to make fun content for you guys, and now he's divorcing me. I've lost everything over a joke. Please send support. The comments are eating it up. He's so controlling. Red flag energy. You deserve better, sis. But some people found my Reddit post, started linking it in her comments. Now there's a war in her comment section between people who think she's the victim and people calling her out. She made her account private yesterday. Damage control. Too late though. Screenshots are forever. Also got a call from the guy who was in the bed. The coworker's brother. He apologized, said he didn't know she was going to take it this far, thought it would just be a quick scare and laugh, said he feels terrible. I told him he should, then hung up. My wife's been staying with her parents since the serving. I went back to our apartment with my brother and a cop, just in case, to get my stuff. The place was trashed. She'd thrown my clothes everywhere, broken some of my stuff. The TV I bought was gone. My PlayStation 2. Documented everything with photos, sent them to my attorney. Another charge, destruction of personal property and theft. The cop actually said, "Man, I've seen messy divorces, but pranking your spouse for TikTok? That's a new low." Yeah, it really is. Tomorrow I'm going back home. Gonna stay with my parents for a bit while this processes. My hospital's been great, gave me some personal days, coworkers have been supportive, a few even saw the video and reached out to check on me. One of the other nurses said I'd have done the same thing. That's beyond disrespectful. Validation feels good. But mostly I just feel tired. And sad. 5 years with someone who I thought loved me. And it turns out she loved views more. Update 2. 3 weeks later. It's been almost a month since I got on that plane. Life's been weird. Living with my parents at 32 feels like a regression, but they've been solid. Mom makes dinner every night, Dad and I watch baseball, and nobody's pranking me for internet points. So, the divorce is moving forward. But my wife, legally still, unfortunately, has gone completely off the rails with the entitlement and manipulation. First, she tried the "we can fix this" route. Sent me a 14-page letter through her attorney about how she's changed and understands now, and we can go to therapy. Included a list of marriage counselors and a promise to never use social media again. My attorney's response: "My client declines reconciliation. Please focus on asset division." When that didn't work, she shifted tactics, posted another video, this time claiming I was verbally abusive throughout our marriage and the prank was her standing up for herself. Complete fabrication. I've never raised my voice at her except once when she nearly burned down the kitchen, leaving a candle lit overnight. And even then it was just, "What were you thinking?" But her followers ate it up, started a whole narrative about me being the bad guy. Someone even made a hashtag. It trended locally for like 2 days. My attorney sent a cease and desist. The video stayed up for 36 hours before her lawyer made her take it down. But the damage was done. I had people recognizing me at the grocery store. One woman actually came up to me and called me an abuser to my face. I just walked away. Not engaging with internet strangers who think they know my life. Then came the financial games. We have separate accounts, thank God. But we did have one shared account for bills and rent. About $4,800 in there. I was planning to split it fairly during the divorce. She drained it. All of it. Transferred it to her personal account while I was staying with my parents. Called my attorney immediately. She filed an emergency motion. Judge was not happy. Ordered her to return half within 48 hours or face contempt charges. She returned it. But then her mother called my mother screaming about how I'm stealing from her daughter and leaving her penniless. The $4,800 was literally household money we both contributed to. I wasn't stealing anything. But facts don't matter when you're convinced your daughter is the victim. My dad got on the phone, told her to lose his number or he'd file harassment charges. Haven't heard from her since. But the pièce de résistance? My wife showed up at the hospital during my shift. Crying, begging to talk to me, making a scene in the ER waiting room. Security escorted her out. My supervisor pulled me aside and asked if I needed to file a restraining order. I said I'd think about it. That night, she posted about it. Went to see my husband at work to apologize and they kicked me out like I'm some criminal. All I wanted was a chance to talk. Conveniently left out the part where she was sobbing loudly in a waiting room full of sick people and refused to leave when asked. I filed for a restraining order the next day. Court date is in 2 weeks. My attorney says it's a slam dunk given the pattern of behavior, showing up at my workplace, the harassing text to family, the social media defamation. Meanwhile, asset division is getting nasty. She's claiming she deserves the apartment. It's a rental, so that's not how it works, but okay. Wants me to pay for her moving costs. Wants half of my retirement account that I started before we even met. My attorney shut all that down. The apartment lease is in both names, but she's the one who chose to leave. She can come back and split the rent, or I'll take over the lease solo. Moving costs are her problem. And my retirement from before the marriage? Untouchable. She's also claiming I promised to pay off her student loans. Never promised that. I helped with some payments, sure, because that's what you do in a marriage. But there was no agreement that I'd take on her $30 debt, her attorneys pushing for spousal support. I laughed when I read the filing. We were married 5 years, both work full-time, she makes decent money at the dental office. No kids, no justification for alimony. My attorney's counteroffer, clean break. Split the apartment security deposit when we move out. Each keeps their own debt and assets. Done. Her response, rejected. She wants $15,000 from me as a settlement for emotional harm. Emotional harm. The woman who pranked me with fake infidelity for views wants me to pay her for emotional harm. The audacity is honestly impressive. We go to mediation next week. My attorney says if she keeps being unreasonable, we go to trial, and trials get expensive. But she also said the judge will likely side with me given the circumstances. The TikTok video is going to be Exhibit A. Evidence of why the marriage broke down. Evidence of her using marital issues for profit. Evidence of her lack of respect for me. Can't wait to see her try to explain to a judge why humiliating your spouse for content is just a harmless joke. On a personal level, I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. Started therapy to process everything. Therapist said what she did was a form of betrayal trauma, and my reaction, leaving immediately, was actually really healthy. I recognized an unsafe situation and removed myself. Been hanging out with friends more, picked up some extra shifts at the hospital, even went on a date last weekend. Nothing serious, just coffee with someone I met through a friend. It was nice to feel like a person again instead of a content opportunity. My wife found out about the date somehow, probably mutual friends who can't keep their mouths shut, and sent a message through a friend. Already moved on? Guess I never mattered. I told the friend to tell her, you mattered until you valued views over our marriage. Haven't heard anything since. Restraining order hearing is Thursday. Mediation is next Tuesday. Then hopefully this whole nightmare can be over. Never thought a TikTok prank would end a marriage, but here we are. Final update. 2 months later. It's been 2 months since I walked out of that bedroom. Feels like a lifetime ago. Figured I'd give you guys the final wrap-up since so many of you followed along. The restraining order got approved. Judge took one look at the hospital incident, the social media posts, and her showing up at my parents' house. Yeah, that happened after my last update, forgot to mention, and granted a 6-month protection order. She's not allowed within 500 feet of me, my workplace, or my family's home. She cried in court. Her attorney tried to argue she was just trying to save her marriage and I was being vindictive. My attorney presented the TikTok video, the follow-up videos, the threatening texts from her mom, everything. Judge wasn't having it. Said, ma'am, your client needs to understand that actions have consequences. Humiliating your spouse publicly and then harassing him when he leaves is not acceptable behavior. Her face went pale. She tried to say something, but her lawyer shushed her. Mediation was a disaster. She came in demanding $20K now, went up from $15, the living room furniture set we bought together, and for me to sign a statement saying the divorce was mutual and amicable. I offered her dollars, she could have the furniture, and absolutely not to the statement. We didn't reach an agreement. Went to trial. Trial was last week. It was one day, pretty quick as divorces go. My attorney presented the video evidence, bank statements showing I'd contributed more to household expenses, proof that my retirement account was started years before we met, and character witnesses including my supervisor at the hospital. Her attorney tried to paint me as cold and unforgiving, said I abandoned her over a joke, argued she deserved compensation for emotional suffering. Then my attorney asked her a question on the stand. Why did you post the video publicly if it was just a private joke between you and your husband? She stammered. For my followers. They like that content. So you prioritized your social media followers over your husband's feelings? That's not. It wasn't like that. But you did monetize the video, correct? Made approximately $3,400? Yes, but... And you posted follow-up videos claiming he was abusive when he filed for divorce? Her lawyer objected, but the damage was done. The judge had seen everything. Verdict came back same day. Divorce granted on grounds of irreconcilable differences. No alimony. No settlement payment. Assets split down the middle. We each took what we brought into the marriage, plus half of what we accumulated together. That meant splitting the apartment security deposit, $1,800 each, and she got the living room furniture, since I didn't care about it. She also had to take down any remaining videos referencing me or the divorce. Her attorney agreed on her behalf because the alternative was a defamation suit. Judge also ordered her to pay half my legal fees since she dragged things out unnecessarily. That was $4,200 she owed me. Her face went red, but she couldn't argue with the judge. Outside the courthouse, her mom was waiting, started screaming at me about ruining her daughter's life, called me every name in the book. My attorney threatened to extend the restraining order to include her if she didn't back off. She backed off, but not before yelling, "You'll regret this. She could have been your whole world." My dad, who came for support, yelled back, "His whole world doesn't include being a TikTok character." We left, got burgers, celebrated the end of a nightmare. But it didn't quite end there, because she couldn't help herself. 2 days after the divorce was finalized, she posted a new video. Face blurred this time, voice slightly disguised, but obviously her. Talking about narcissistic ex-husbands who can't handle strong women, and when a joke costs you everything. Didn't mention me by name, but people connected the dots. Comments were linking back to the original video. Some were supportive of her. Most were calling her delusional. I didn't respond. Didn't engage. Just sent the video to my attorney, who sent another cease and desist. This time with the threat of going back to court for violation of the judge's order. The video came down within an hour. Haven't heard from her since. Mutual friends say she's moved back in with her parents, still working at the dental office, mostly keeps to herself. Her TikTok account is still up, but she hasn't posted in 3 weeks. Views must not be worth it anymore. As for me, I'm doing good. Really good, actually. Moved into a smaller apartment closer to the hospital. 1 bedroom, just me, decorated exactly how I want. No ring cameras, no pranks, just peace. Work's been busy but fulfilling. Helped deliver a baby in the ER last week. Mom didn't make it to L&D in time, and it reminded me why I do this job. Saving lives, helping people, making a difference. That's what matters. Not views, not likes, not content. Been seeing someone casually, the woman from the coffee date. Nothing serious yet, taking it slow, but she's kind and genuine and thinks the whole prank thing was absolutely insane. Good sign. My therapist says I've processed the trauma well. Says most people in my situation would have either tried to make it work, which would have been a mistake, or spiraled into anger and revenge. But I just walked away. Set boundaries, enforced consequences, and moved on. Sometimes the best revenge is just living well. The TikTok video's still out there, by the way. Can't make her delete it, since it's on other people's accounts now. Reposts and reactions and commentary channels. 3.8 million views last I checked. People still recognize me occasionally. Last week someone at the coffee shop was like, "Hey, aren't you the guy whose wife pranked him?" I just smiled and said, "Not my wife anymore. Good for you, man." That was messed up. Yeah, it really was. So that's it. The great TikTok prank divorce of 2025. 5 years of marriage ended because someone thought betrayal was comedy. Lesson learned: marry someone who respects you more than they respect their follower count. To everyone who supported me through this, thank you. To those who said I overreacted, we'll have to agree to disagree. But I'm at peace with my choice. Life's too short to be someone's content.